Pakistani War of 1965, often referred to as the Second India-Pakistan War, was a significant armed conflict between the two nations. The war took place over a brief but intense period from August to September 1965. It was ignited by Pakistan's ambitious yet ultimately unsuccessful Operation Gibraltar. This covert mission aimed to send Pakistani forces into Jammu and Kashmir to incite a rebellion against Indian rule. However, the operation failed to achieve its objective, leading to a full-scale military confrontation. The war lasted 17 days and caused heavy casualties on both sides, with thousands of soldiers and civilians losing their lives. It is remembered for featuring the largest deployment of armored vehicles and tanks since World War II, with some of the most ferocious tank battles in modern history. The fighting was concentrated in Kashmir and along the international border between India and Pakistan. The conflict marked the largest gathering of troops in Kashmir since the partition of India in 1947, a record that remained unbroken until the 2001 to 2002 military standoff. Despite fierce combat involving infantry, armored divisions, and substantial air force support, neither side managed to gain a decisive advantage. Naval operations were limited, but contributed to the overall tension. After intense fighting and rising international pressure, hostilities ceased following a United Nations-mandated ceasefire under UNSC Resolution 211. This resolution was supported by diplomatic efforts from both the Soviet Union and the United States. The peace process culminated in the signing of the Tashkent Declaration, which called for the withdrawal of forces to pre-conflict positions and the restoration of normal diplomatic relations. The 1965 war remains a pivotal chapter in South Asian history, symbolizing the enduring conflict over Kashmir and shaping future relations between India and Pakistan. The Indo-Pakistani War of 1965 ended in a complex and mixed outcome for both India and Pakistan. When the ceasefire was declared, India held a clear upper hand in terms of territorial control and overall military strength. However, in aerial warfare, the Pakistan Air Force, PAF, demonstrated notable skill and tactical advantage, outperforming India in several combat zones despite being numerically smaller. Strategically, the war is often seen as a political and military setback for Pakistan. The primary goal of inciting an uprising in Kashmir through Operation Gibraltar failed, and Pakistan was forced to divert its efforts toward defending Lahore. On the other hand, India, despite its military superiority and advantageous position, could not achieve its objective of establishing a strong military deterrence or fully capitalizing on its success before the ceasefire. On the global stage, the war unfolded against the backdrop of the Cold War, leading to a significant geopolitical shift in the region. Prior to the conflict, both India and Pakistan relied heavily on the United States and the United Kingdom for military and economic aid. However, during the war, both nations felt betrayed by the lack of support from their Western allies. The situation worsened with the imposition of an arms embargo by the US and the UK, which was seen as an abandonment by both sides. In the aftermath of the war, this perceived Western betrayal led to realignments in foreign relations. Pakistan deepened its ties with China, while India moved closer to the Soviet Union. These new alliances significantly influenced the geopolitical dynamics of South Asia. Moreover, the distrust of the US and UK that emerged during this conflict persisted in the subcontinent, shaping relations with the West for decades. Although relations with the US and Britain have improved since the end of the Cold War, the lingering effects of this distrust continue to influence regional perceptions to this day. The Indo-Pakistani War of